Hello and welcome to another video lesson with Mr. Roman. Today we're going to be talking about congruent triangles and the theorems that proved congruent triangles. So the first one we're going to deal with is called SSS, which is side, side, side. And that one says if all the corresponding sides of two triangles are congruent, then the two triangles are in fact congruent. So you look at the diagram here and you have two triangles in this quadrilateral. And when we split these two apart, we see that actually the side BC is the same as this side BC. So yes, they do have three congruent sides to this triangle. So the way we would write this, if we were writing it with the theorem, we would say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, and then we need to be careful to use the corresponding parts. So D, and then we're going C, and then B. Okay? And let's look at another theorem. Theorem 2 is the SAS theorem, which is side angle side congruence theorem. And that one says if two pairs of corresponding sides of two triangles are congruent and the connecting angles are congruent, then the two triangles are congruent. So we look at the two triangles here and we see that we got the blue side is congruent to the blue side. The red side is congruent to the red side. And actually this green here should be changed. We need to put that up at the angle A. So we've got the blue and the red here. Both are connecting at this green angle. And here the blue and the red are connecting at this green angle. So we can say side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. And it has to be the angle that's being connected to the two sides. If we changed where that green angle was, let's say we put it down here at angle C, then we could no longer use the SAS here. We need to know that angle D and A are congruent because that's the connecting angle between the two sides that we're looking for. Let's look at another kind of theorem. So here we have the angle-angle side theorem, and that one says if two pairs of corresponding angles are congruent and the non-connecting sides, so that's an important part, are congruent, then the triangles are congruent. So let's look at a diagram what that might mean. So here we have angle X is congruent to angle K, and then Y is congruent to M, and then the side YZ and ML. So we can say that angle X, angle Y, angle side, so we'd say angle side, and then angle side. So that makes the two triangles congruent when we have those things, those corresponding parts are congruent. And let's look at the last theorem. So the fourth and final theorem would be the ASA, which is angle side angle congruence theorem. And here we have when two pairs of corresponding angles are congruent and the connecting sides, so here that's an important part, connecting sides are congruent, then the triangles are congruent. So here we look at that. In this diagram we know that the blue angles are congruent because they're vertical angles, and we know that angle F and angle A are congruent, and then AC and CF are also congruent. And here we would be able to say that angle side angle would be angle A with side AC and then angle C. So that'd be angle side angle. That would prove the two triangles are congruent. Now let's look at some side examples that will give us an idea of what kind of theorems we're going to be using in some of the work problems. So here we're given two triangles and different information here. We can use different theorems to prove these two triangles congruent. I'm just going to pick one and show how we would use the corresponding parts to prove these two triangles congruent. So let's say we wanted to use the angle side angle theorem. We would say angle R is equal to angle Q. So that would be the first angle that we know is congruent. Then the side that connects them would be this side and this side. So we'd say side RT is congruent to side QM. And then we need that second angle, which is angle T and angle M. So we'd say angle T is congruent to angle M. And when we're using this theorem, we notice how we went angles first here, then we went sides, and then we went angles again. And that's because the theorem is angle, side, angle. We need to go in that order to show the corresponding parts. And again, you can use different theorems in each problem. Let's try one more in this one to see what it might look like. You could also use side angle side here. So side angle side would look like this. We could use the green angle as our connecting angle between this side and this side of the two triangles. So we would say side RT is equal to side QM, and then angle T is equal to angle M, and then side ST is equal to side PM. And again, notice how I went side first, then angle, then side. And that's because it was side angle side theorem. So this would be how you would use the triangles, or I'm sorry, use the theorems to prove the triangles are congruent, and by saying their parts. Here, the red part, that's where you're naming the parts of the triangle. So for Ashley, this is your note sheet for the homework assignment that you're given. Have a nice day, and your class wants to tell you something. Anthony didn't want to say hi.